tired.
I know, but I gotta get this done.
You're very tired. That's why. You need some CP time.
Okay. Let me
Sleepy,
get it out
sleepy
though.
time. Sleepy, sleepy
Okay.
time.
Yeah, right? We know
Yes.
about CP time. Me
Does
and
Dahlia
Rob,
have
we
an
know
extra
about that.
comforter?
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to take a second to thank everybody that participated at the bidding of all the furs, all my paintings sold. I'm very appreciative. Unfortunately, YouTube wouldn't let us upload for a couple of weeks or go live or whatever. Punishment. Because we actually did this in ASL. We did it in sign language, but I am way too tired to do that right now, and I don't think you guys give a shit either. So I just wanted to thank everybody for buying my paintings. Must have been, it's funny. I honestly think it was 17 paintings. I have to double check, but I think it was 17 paintings that sold. Coincidences, will they ever cease? Okay. That sounded good. Now we can continue.
Now that you've sold that many paintings, Carolyn, that kind of makes you a professional painter.
You know how many paintings I've sold, my friend?
Well, there you go. That makes you a professional painter.
I have done murals like the size of living rooms. I've done commissioned artwork. 17 paintings are nothing. It's just I've never been in an auction. Oh yeah. Even I've had ex-boyfriends that came to me and bought paintings.
No, you don't talk about that shit. You never tell us that stuff. So how
No,
are
what
we
I'm
supposed to
saying is
know?
I'm not going to say no to anybody. If they like it, they can buy it.
Well, how are we supposed to know if you don't tell us?
Why would I tell anybody that? It's nobody's business.
Well,
Like,
there you go.
I really
Well,
don't
there you go.
care.
There's your answer to your question. Did I know? No.
Most of my shit is for charities and my friends. The one behind is for you. These I might try to auction off. I might.
I don't
know. Unless somebody likes it enough.
You need to finish the one you were doing for your mom.
I know. Well, I have no rush for that because Jill wants it.
Oh. Well, you should rush and get it done.
Huh?
You should rush and get it done.
It's too hot.
Well, I know it's hot. Not now. I'm not saying do it. No, get up off your ass right now and do it. Work. Woman,
I just got into painting again.
I'm not saying to do it
So
now.
I've been up all fucking night. I worked on our fucking
know you're
videos
fucking
all
delusional.
fucking night, and this is.
You are delusional. You need sleep.
I'm not delusional. Well, I might be mad.
You need sleepy.
You need sleep.
No,
She'll
I'm
get
fine.
that when she dies. Calm down.
I got to do a few more things, I think.
Calm your tits.
I'd love to play a game of spades.
I think you need to lay down and close your eyes.
Yes, Papa Bear. Oh, that was Joe. You see, I'm calling Joe Redden.
Say, what did I say? What did I say?
That is bad.
Yeah.
I tell you about the other weird shit that's been happening.
You are a very tired person.
You would absolutely. There's reasons though, and there's reasons I can't sleep. You would absolutely think I am out of my mind if I told you them.
Fucking drugs.
The best I could say is, I hardly post. Very, very rarely post on my profile. I very rarely post at all, even in moon lives. But if you take a look at the post, there's Paul Simon. It's a video of Paul Simon, and it's really very interesting. And he's going deaf too.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah, I know.
It's not like I'm such a huge. I do love folk, but it's not like I'm such a huge Simon and Garfunkel fan by any means. But he was a genius writer. He was a poet.
Yeah, he was better with
He's-
Garfunkel though.
Well, it's not even, I'm not trying to compare, but Paul, he wrote most of
guess.
the music.
Yeah, Simon just was the writer. He just liked the music.
Simon had no testicles. He was able to sing soprano. No. What's the high one?
Alto.
Alto is the low one. I'm alto.
Yeah,
That's why I could sing heavy metal.
Soprano. Soprano.
My best impersonation is Bobcat Goldthwait.
Soprano.
Soprano is the highest? No.
Yeah, soprano's the highest.
Okay, so I did say it right. Jesus. I'm batting 1,000. Oh my God, they stopped the noise. If I'm talking loud, it's because I hate them.
You guys got buck hunters for a sale, man? No.
Oh my God, the noise
my
stopped.
tools are left
Some kind
up
of
in frickin',
generator, I imagine. Yeah. I thought it was so cute. When I was working in the Brooklyn Museum, it was very, you don't think of the cities like this much, but there's a lot of park in the old cities. And they still exist. And like in the Brooklyn Museum, the back was a park. We had all these birds flying that you normally not see in the city. In fact, there are parts of the city that have Manhattan has black squirrels. I don't think I've ever seen them anywhere else. Black squirrels in only a certain section of Manhattan, which I can't. It's not by Central Park either, which was outstanding to me. But and even the parakeets grew a home in Brooklyn. I love it. I don't know why she came to me. Well, she said because I knew you'd know. That's what she said to me. This Russian woman, she had worked in the museum for about 15 years at that point. It was a government job. She was security. So was I actually. I was security. But I was in coat check because I could only do part-time. I was in school. But she came running to me. She goes, "Come to the door. You gotta come to the door," because the back of the museum was a park. We had all these birds. That's what I was saying. So I come running. I'm like thinking something big is. Don't know what to expect. Sure enough, there's a praying mantis on the door. Beautiful praying mantis. It's just, it's like she's decided to tell her the truth, and say like how the females, after doing their way, the males, they bite their heads off, the male heads off after intercourse.
Yeah. Bucket
I went to
bitches.
full and beyond. She thought the thing was so scary. I think beautiful
Furry.
praying mantis. They're beautiful.
Oh. Oh.
In
Well,
fact,
they
I
are
went to
kind of
try
creepy
to.
when they
I
kind
was
of
gonna.
tilt their head at you.
Yes, and if
Freaks
you
you
if
out.
if you're still enough, well, no, no. I love insects though. I actually wanted to go into entomology at one time. Ophthalmology was one, entomology, but then I could never decide. I'm still a child. I have no idea what I want to do when I grow up. It
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember. The toys are, I just
I
remember the
wonder.
I'm too tired to give a shit.
Of love. Oh my God, we could sign a lot of songs.
don't tell you she was losing it.
Oh, come on, Joe. I lost it a long time ago. Give me more credit than that.
Oh, okay.
It's good to be alive. It's good to be here. I'm just trying to think. I heard some interesting things today that,
Thinking
oh,
could be
Patch, have you ever heard of anything about the Hamptons?
about the what?
The Hamptons,
Oh, you're on mute, Patch.
the ritzy part of New York.
For sure. Patch. Anything about it, but from your side, Reb?
Mm-mm.
I think he forgot how to operate his phone.
Patch. Patch. Savior of the universe. Lend me your ear and I'll sing you a song. I'm trying to do
This ain't the Wonder Years, baby girl.
I was gonna try to do Neil Diamond singing it though.
Oh, hell.
Friends, try to have a little help from my friends.
I never knew Neil Diamond did that one.
He has a shit. He has a raspy voice, right? And then sometimes,
No, you're
okay,
thinking
just
Joe Cocker.
hands, touching hands, reaching out,
That's Neil
touching
Diamond.
me, touching you.
Sweet
My song.
Caroline.
Oh,
Oh.
good times never seem so good. So
You
my
fuckers are
times
weird.
have been too good. Too good. Too good.
Sleep deprivation is the new alcohol.
And
That is
You-
definitely what she has.
good times never seem so good. So good. So good.
What's in your water?
Something's in her water. I'll tell you that. There's
Gotcha.
something in that water over there.
Yes, the Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter.
That's why. Okay, gotcha.
Son.
Oh, the reason I brought up the Hamptons. Now I can't remember
Yeah.
what the caller said about it,
Yeah.
but it made so much sense to me. Like pretty much what Reb said, it's a very rich, established area. It's on the water again.
Yeah.
They always
That's where-
love these people that hate, the environment, the climate, and believe in climate change are the same people that live in these massive mansions by the water.
They're also the ones that charter flights instead of taking commercial flights.
Right.
They're too good to be around other people.
Putting more, right?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
They wouldn't do that, would they, Reb?
Oh, you bet your ass they would.
Oh, I hear you.
So how many chefs have died that worked for Obama? Because I'm pretty sure one died under Trump too.
Chefs? You mean they're cooks?
Yes.
I tell people all the time, they're not journalists anymore. They're just talking heads. They just repeating other bullshit they heard from somebody else.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Right back. Wrestling.
I wonder how Bean surgery is going. Might be.
Probably done. They
Yeah,
usually
she's
do that
probably in
stuff.
recovery.
They do that stuff early in the morning.
Oh, I know. She was there by like 5.
Yeah. They're by 5 and probably surgery was probably done by 6:30.
Sometimes they gotta do mapping, sometimes they gotta do all these things. But I hope she's all right.
She's okay. She'll be okay.
Well, John liked Imagine, that we did Imagine.
Huh?
I sent it to my husband. Because he is a Beatles fan. I am not a Beatles fan. I actually despise the Beatles.
It's
No, I don't
Zeppelin all the way.
despise them.
Fuck the Beatles.
Mm-hmm. Well, at one time they did try to tell us to Patch.
Yeah, before they got taken over, I guess.
No. No. Remember? I can't remember the album name, but remember the album with all the dolls? They're all naked dolls and they have blood all over them and the Beatles are sitting in back of them.
I don't know that one, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know that one.
I know there's one album that they had where Aleister Crowley's on the cover. That was Sgt. Pepper, I think.
Right, and then they had the white album and then Sgt. Pepper's. Why do I know so much about? I don't like the Beatles. Oh my God. Oh wait, well, yeah, we should be able to see the image because they had to recall it. Here it is. There you go. Doesn't that just speak volumes?
Let's see it. Where is it?
I mean,
Decapitated baby on my shoulder.
Ringo Starr wasn't their original drummer either.
no. And I think that's the original Paul, and not too long after, it was not the original Paul.
Heard the original Paul was gone.
Yes.
They probably been cloning people back then.
Oh, his phone died.
Who's?
Well, somebody left. I heard it. Boo. Aren't you late
I
for work?
heard that was Rob. Okay.
Somebody come in.
Bing bong. Ooh. Holy shit, it just said themes. Carolyn.
It's time to leave. That. Yes.
We don't need no education.
Let's get the fuck out of
We
here.
really don't
Oh,
need an
yeah.
education.
Ooh, I tell you. Fucking air conditioner on.
Need no thought
That's not
control.
fair.
Mm. No dark sarcasm.
To have gold coins in my possession, that hard asset is
Awesome.
Things actually wanted to enter into the record a report, a Fox News report, April 27, 2022, which details the testimony of Mr. Mayorkas. They created the Disinformation Governance Board within DHS to combat alleged disinformation and misinformation, terms that he's not able to explain here. And the second document
Disinformation.
is the public statement on the Hunter Biden
Did I say
emails,
earlier?
51 former intel agents that has now been debunked, but they also refer to misinformation. So it's an important term. Enter those into the record.
Without objection, the chair now recognizes the gentleman from California.
Thank you, Chairman Jordan. The House Judiciary Committee is responsible for helping to ensure the rule of law.
There's an Adler.
Unfortunately, the chair of this committee ignored a bipartisan congressional subpoena. In September 1969, a few years before Watergate consumed this presidential administration, the president launched Operation Intercept, which basically shut down the southern border.
Okay.
Less than 3 weeks later, that operation was stopped because it largely failed to address the issues at the border. Thank you, Mayorkas. Who was the Republican president in 1969?
I have to think back sequentially in reverse chronology, but I'm sure you know
Nixon,
the
right?
answer
He resigned.
immediately.
I'll give you a hint. President resigned. After Nixon resigned in
Resigned,
1974,
that's okay.
his vice president became president. But the issues at the border continued, and in 1976, the president stated, quote, 80 to 90% of the heroin that comes in the United States today comes across from our southern border, end quote. Secretary Mayorkas, who was the Republican president in 1976? The vice president to Nixon.
I'm sorry,
He was the vice president to Richard Nixon.
Gerald Ford, are you
Yes,
speaking of?
that's correct.
Yeah,
And then,
I'd prefer not to answer questions of history right now. My focus is on
Right.
the work
I'm
of
gonna help you with
Homeland Security.
I'm going to help you with this. In the 1980s, the Republican president had promised morning in America again. But the issues at the southern border continued.
Yields back. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
No, there ain't nothing in this economy better than Trump.
Secretary Mayorkas, on April 28th, 2022, I ask you, quote, will you testify under oath right now? Do we have operational control? Yes or no? End quote. You responded with, quote, yes, we do, period, end quote. I then asked, we have operational control of the borders? You responded, quote, yes, we do, period, end quote.
Oh my God.
Followed up. I said, I read to you the definition of operational control. I actually held up this chart, operational control as defined under the Secure Fence Act. Put it up for plain reading, plain as day. I put up the second part of the same statute, which defines operational control. Means the prevention of all unlawful entries in the United States, including entries by terrorists, other unlawful aliens, instruments of terrorism, narcotics, and other contraband. I said to you, do you stand by in your testimony that we have operational control in light of this definition? You responded with, quote, I do, period, end quote. Earlier, you testified I didn't give you a chance to finish. Yet you specifically, when asked and held up a statute defining exactly what operational control meant under the Secure Fence Act, you said, quote, I do. I believe that was purposeful. I believe you want the American people to believe we have operational control of the border when we very clearly do not. Invalidating the initial claim. And it wasn't until May of this year that you corrected the record to say, well, let me just correct you right there because actually the investigation concluded the whipping did not occur. Don Rosenberg in this very room testified a few weeks ago that you lie. It is a perpetual pattern. And the fact is there are real people that are impacted by that.
Right.
We have now had, since you testified, we have had something like 200 people a day dying from fentanyl deaths, which would amount to 90,000 people. I showed you before, when you were here, the lost voices of fentanyl, the hundreds, the thousands of Americans that continue to die, 90,000 since you came into this committee and lied to us saying we have operational control. I yield back.
Nice.
Excuse me, gentleman yields back. The gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Secretary, you have a serious job, and occasionally you have to deal with some very unserious MAGA colleagues of mine. Your serious job is to secure the border of the greatest country in the world, a country that is neighbor to some of the most violent and economically insecure countries in the world,
He's gonna
where
fart.
people are willing
It's
to risk everything
swallow.
to
He's
come
gonna do a
here.
swallow.
And somehow you have to secure the border, but also make sure we're not pushing little girls back into the river so they can drown. It's a hard job. If it was an easy job, we wouldn't have asked you to do it. But you were asked to do it because you're qualified, you're competent, you care, you show compassion, and you show up every day and you deal with this. Frankly, sir, I think sometimes you're too nice.
Oh my God.
Because if I had a chairman who failed to honor his own lawful subpoena about 500 days after it
Is he
was
getting paid?
submitted to him, I would
Nice to see
say,
dickweed.
catch me when you're serious. Come talk to me when you're going to follow the law about whether you think I follow the law. But that's not who you are. You take your job seriously, even in front
He's
of a
not
lot of unserious
following
people.
the law, Swallow.
In fact, the chair that you were sitting in,
Fucking piece
you
of.
may not know this, but the last person who sat in that chair was called by the chairman an anti-vaccine, anti-Semitic witness in RFK Jr. So you have brought immediate credibility to the chair that you're sitting in by just being here, who are on the left.
Well, it's
So what do we want to do? We want to acknowledge the seriousness of your job
So done with these people.
and hopefully one day
Oh my
in the
God, we're all
majority
done with you.
give you the
Go
tools to
away.
deliver on what we believe ultimately can put us in the most secure place, which is comprehensive immigration reform.
Deal
And in the
with
spirit of that, I
fucking
want to ask
90,000
you,
deaths from
because I
fentanyl
believe in that and
alone.
my colleagues believe in that,
But that's
in
bullshit,
January,
Swallow.
DHS established a new
Congressman, the CBP One app is one element of our approach of building and expanding lawful pathways
This
for
fucking
people
little
to
piece
reach the
of
United States
fucking
in a safe, orderly,
cowardly
and lawful
shit.
way, as well as delivering consequences at the
mane
border
on
for
him.
those
He looks like the
individuals
lion.
who do not use them. The CBP One app, number one, reduces the
solutions
You're
to
not
stop
MAGA,
that.
you idiot.
Fentanyl seizures
You're
are up.
MAGA.
Congratulations to the brave
How
men and
you
women
saying you're
who wear
MAGA
the badge
cutters?
every day and walk the beat at CBP. That should be celebrated, but rather it's used by my MAGA colleagues as a political weapon. It's a tough job. You're a serious person, and we're grateful that you're doing it.
Wait,
And I
I
yield
can't
back.
incite violence,
Gentleman
damn
yields
it.
back. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
I thank the chairman. Secretary Mayorkas, the Department of Homeland Security
You know what I'm
issued a
gonna do?
National
I'm gonna make a
Terrorism
video
Advisory
and bleep
System
him.
Bulletin this year in February. It said the
Or
United
maybe
States
bleep all the
remains in a
cursing.
heightened threat
Like,
environment
he's
fueled
a
by several
motherfucker
factors,
bleep,
including online
motherfucker
environment
bleep.
filled with false or misleading narratives and conspiracy
Motherfucking
theories and other forms of mis,
Liar
dis,
bleep.
and malinformation. Can you define malinformation for us?
Malinformation,
Congressman,
this is a good one.
we're dealing with false information that is used for a particular purpose.
Isn't malinformation actually true information that may be inconvenient to the establishment orthodoxy?
Hello.
I'm sorry, Congressman.
Isn't malinformation a made-up word
Yes.
that refers to information that's actually true, but just inconvenient to the government narrative?
That is not true.
Yes, it
Let me,
is.
let me ask,
Ideology they believe in.
and so
That is
it's,
a,
so let me ask you the question, if you just answer it directly. Is it illegal to undermine public trust in U.S. government institutions? Isn't that in fact what we're doing here today? When we point out that you've released 1 million or 2 million people into this country without trying to deport them? I mean, are we in
Hello?
fact undermining trust in your institution? Aren't we doing that? And isn't that actually healthy when we point that out?
Congressman, may I share with you what the Department of Homeland Security does with respect to ideologies?
I need to
What we
ask you
do-
another question since you
Why
haven't
would
answered
an
any of these
ideology
yet.
be important? You're supposed to do your job.
You say
There's no
that
ideology.
there is widespread online proliferation of false or misleading
for everything.
narratives regarding COVID-19. Is the claim
Oh my
that natural
God,
immunity
they
is real,
mentioned
is that a
COVID on
false
YouTube.
or misleading online narrative?
Congressman, we do not evaluate particular ideologies or particular narratives. Our focus
How about
is
the
on-
claim that vaccines don't stop the spread of the virus? Was that a false or misleading COVID narrative?
It is our responsibility to prevent violence from occurring. We work very closely.
Then don't
Is
let
it,
them
all right, I'm
in.
just saying, I want you to give me an example of a false or misleading narrative that encouraged violence. That you say that that grievances associated with these themes inspired violent extremist attacks during 2021. Did hydroxychloroquine, did that inspire violent extremist attacks?
No, who
What
is
are
that?
you talking about in this document when you say that false or misleading narratives about COVID-19 inspired violent extremist attacks during 2021? Can you give us a single example? I've given you some questions. Was it the narrative that this may have leaked from a lab in China? Was that the thing? And COVID-19 caused attacks on cell towers. I think you're
Congressman, that is a-
chasing ridiculous things.
Mr.
People
Chairman,
watching this at home,
Mr.
they
Chairman,
got to be just amazed that you would espouse this.
Be allowed to
We are. We are,
No,
Mr.
he's
Mathey.
not.
The lie.
False misleading narratives about COVID-19 need to be censored.
Okay, my friend, I gotta go.
Censored because giving out this information is free speech.